ladies, we got to talk about some drama. Yes, Nicole, the drama of this week was insane. Ooh. The drama. This show has a segment called The Drama in the NFL, and we like to talk about it, guys. The things that they are afraid to say, we are not, because this is Ladies Takeover. So, the first one, ladies, and I wanted to throw you guys a little curveball. Mac Jones and Bill Belichick have now lost 2 games in a row. Very impactful games. These were like Dallas beat them, and they said it was the worst loss that they've ever had. And now the same thing happens a week later. Do you think that it is time for Bill Belichick to hang up the towel? Throw in the towel, whatever you want to call it with the towel. Do you think it's time? Or do you think that they just need to get away from Mac Jones and get somebody else in there? What you think? Oh, this is a toughie. This is a toughie.
23 seasons, right?
Huh?
With the Patriots, 23 seasons. I just learned about them last season, so he's new to me. But, I mean, just stay with your team. I think it's one of those things that maybe it'd be a good legacy to kind of leave behind, and just staying with that team, and then,
Well, what if he has no choice, Nicole? It could be a point where they may need to decide to part ways because it's not working. They're not really doing very well.
I guess that could happen too.
It's looking like it's been a down sled since Tom Brady has left that controversy by itself, the with him, without him. Delilah, what do you think?
I think if he loses the season, I think he retires. Only because I feel like with Bill, he doesn't want his legacy to have multiple losing seasons in a row.
Yeah.
I just don't see that for him, because regardless of what our thoughts are on, he is a championship winning coach, right? So whatever, however you slice it, right? He did win a lot of championships, right? And so I just don't think that he wants to go out so low. And I know that he has too much pride to be fired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think Robert Kraft wants to have to fire him. And so I feel like they're going to give him an out and be like, listen, if they don't rectify the ship, right, that's the thing. If they can't turn the ship around with Zappy, right, because he's up next, and as far as I understand it, Mac Jones was hurt, right, and probably not going to play. So if Zappy could turn it around, then maybe he'll give it another shot with him. But if even with him, they end with another losing season, I just don't see it happening. I think he'll resign, and New England will be looking for a fresh new coach with a new direction, because the league has changed.
That's
right?
True.
We see McDaniels down there in Miami, and having a good time, and having his jokes, and Shanahan over there in San Francisco, and you just have these young guys who are just making a change,
That's true.
In how we play, and they're directing these younger quarterbacks that are coming out more, not passing quarterbacks that are mobile, right? That's like the new thing. It's a passing league, but they still want you to be able to be athletic and move. So I don't know. I think he resigns if it's another losing season.
Okay, we're gonna see. Let us know what you guys think. It is a touchy subject, but the Bill Belichick that we once knew, it seems like it's a decline. Mac Jones has had as many picks in his short time with the Patriots that Tom Brady had his entire career. Yeah. And we can't even say they had like a dynamic team. Tom Brady was just really good, and he was able to, get, hide the flaws of everything else because he was just that clutch. Yeah. Well, ladies, last week we did talk about the running backs and how we felt like they need to get paid, right? But it's seeming like it may cause an issue for the future when you got your top backs out for injury. Number 1, we got Derrick Henry. Number 2, we got Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, A.J. Dillon, and we got J.K. Dobbins. So what do you guys think? Like, I know we're trying to fight for these running backs to get paid, but from the example that you're seeing from these top tier running backs, we're not really seeing the bang for the buck.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Delilah?
I think it's proving the owner's right, unfortunately. You know, as much as a lot of us were fighting for running backs, you're right. We were thinking about the good old days of running backs being, you know, your go-to, the running game. And that, don't get me wrong, of course, you still need a good running game to win games. But it's proving to the ownership that they were right to, yes, pay them, but not these major contracts anymore, because they do have a shorter life expectancy because of their role. Because it is, you know, you're literally called a running back. It's in your title. It's literally like your job is to run through the defense. You know, I know it sounds crazy, but I don't think people have ever thought about that. I'm like, think of what your role is, what your title is.
It's like other players are trying to get away and like catch the ball. The quarterback trying to run away from them. Like the running back's job is to run directly into a crowd.
Yeah.
And
so
hope not to get
firefighters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, basically, poor guys. And so I think that because of a lot of these major injuries, I think it's proving to the ownership that they were right to not pay insane max out contracts. So I think that's what this is doing. It's proving, sadly, I'm not saying I don't appreciate running back. Don't get my words twisted out there, internet world. I'm just saying that from an economics standpoint, all these injuries to running backs is proving the ownership right when it comes to money and managing that type of thing. That's what I mean. So
absolutely, I agree. Hi. Nicole?
Too many IRs. I mean, even the guys, I have a bunch on my Dynasty Fantasy League, and I was surprised too. I have my full IR list is just with the running back. So I didn't really think about it until you guys did mention it to me, and I'm like, it's not even those guys' names; it's other running backs too. So I can totally understand.
Yeah, it makes it hard for that argument. You do want to pay them; they are risking their bodies, but if they're going to spend majority of the season out when you critically need them, especially some of these teams are critically needing their running backs right now to help, and they don't have that, and it's just makes me a little sad about it. But what can you do? All right, guys, I got one more, and this one's kind of like a doozy. John Gruden, guys, he is in court fighting to get back in the NFL. There was rumors, allegedly, my girl Delilah taught me to make sure I say allegedly, he's going to maybe be an option for Canada on the Steelers. You know, if it doesn't work out, how do we feel about John Gruden coming back? I know there was a lot of drama last year with the stuff and his emails that was leaked. It turns out he looked like the scapegoat for all the other things that was going wrong in the NFL, but he was leaked. There was some nasty information about John Gruden saying things that he shouldn't have said. Do you guys believe in second chances? Do you think it's an opportunity for maybe John Gruden in this lawsuit of trying to get back in the NFL, basically saying he's been blackmailed and all this stuff? Do you think he could come back?
Yes, I do think he could come back. I've seen it before where people are like, oh, you know, I said the only time I rarely see a comeback where they don't let you back in is like you literally wind up in jail and something like really atrocious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only time I really see the no second chances is when it's so egregious that you end up locked up or something like that. Like, that's the only time that I've seen where the NFL is like, no, you know, like, don't even try it, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not saying I personally like the man, but I do think that he was thrown under the bus for everything because he obviously wasn't the only one doing bad stuff and saying awful things and talking about players. And so I think that he was railroaded and used as a scapegoat because they're all like not the best people. You're talking about like ultra millionaire, not even millionaire. You're talking about billionaires.
Yeah, 100%.
Billionaires that own these teams because you have to be insanely wealthy to even be a minority owner in an NFL team. You know what I mean? So like, so I do think that they use him as a scapegoat. It doesn't mean that he's innocent. I'm just saying that he is right in his lawsuit of, hey, it wasn't just me. Like, how if you're gonna kick me out, then you got to kick out all of them. You know what I mean?
Everybody,
like,
yeah.
So I understand that point, and I do think that he'll win the lawsuit, and they're gonna give him a job. He'll be back.
All right, Nicole, what do you think?
Yeah, this league is kind of like you know, I do one for you, you do one for me, for the family, you know. With the NFL, yeah, it's a little bit of I think that I don't know, they're like their own governing body almost in that it is a little bit of they are at the helm, but it's never to say that you can never come back because they always need, I mean, with people getting injured and retirement and stuff, and you try and do your best and see, you know what I mean, if you can make even a comeback, you know. So
Yeah,
I think they're open to it.
All right, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know due to the fact that when Gruden was in it, they still weren't good. So I don't even know if he'll come back, but they're right. The league is a league of second chances. We've seen it. I mean, Deshaun got, allegedly, accused of all these different times, and he was gonna, he was able to come back. So they're forgiving. They are forgiving. So we will see. Please, if you guys hear anything, keep us up to date because I would like to know what happens with it. But I did hear that on ESPN today, so I had to make sure that I mentioned that they're talking about Gruden coming back.